You know, Scott, I'm a little disappointed because you were distracting me with that.
Yes.
And I should have been looking at this amazing collection of what
S&S tiles.
S&S.
Solon and Schemmel.
Solon and Schemmel. Would you spell any of that?
No, I can't spell. But
Solon and Schemmel.
yes.
And so we'll.
And, you know, I think that Solon and Schemmel.
I've never heard.
Albert Solon was the artist. Schemmel
Albert?
Albert Solon.
Solon.
S-O-L-O-N.
Okay.
His last name.
He was the artist,
and
the other guy
Schemmel
was the
businessman.
Yeah. Okay. There's always an artist and businessman.
They did this high-end quality tile making with separation between the colors, with tube-line tile and beautiful, rich colors. I mean, you know, really great tiles. I got this giant collection of S&S tiles and access to even more.
You got this?
Yeah. So
how did you get this?
I met this man who had all this.
You met a guy with tiles.
Yes.
How long ago was this?
About a month and a half ago.
Okay. So is it fair to say that this is the very first public showing of this collection?
Yes.
So it premiered right here today.
Where you could buy them, yes.
Okay.
And they did all kinds of great things with flowers, and you know, they're just a great company.
Now, what is the approximate year of these tiles here?
They're early 1920s.
Okay, early 1920s. So roughly 1925.
Even earlier.
Okay, 1922. 1920.
Yes, 1920 on up.
1920 to 1925, somewhere in there.
It went into the 30s.
Okay. And
rich colors, really high definition, like beautiful tiles, deco, all kinds of matte colors, glazes. This is high quality tile making, and I believe that S&S. I didn't really realize this, but by doing this so many years, and having this collection, I've begun to realize that I think S&S is probably the best quality tile maker in California in the day.
Wait, you're saying that S&S tile?
Yeah.
Of all the tiles that you've come across, and you've come across
21 years of doing this,
huge amounts of tiles, you claim that they are the best?
As far as quality making tiles.
As far as quality making tiles. And once again, could you refresh me, what are some of the points, what are some of the aspects that makes for really high quality?
Tube lined, high end, all have separation between the colors. This is the best. It's definition is like all there. The richness of the colors and glazes are better than most others. They did a high glaze, which is shiny like this, really beautifully. They did matte colors.
Now, is high glaze harder to do than matte?
That I don't know. But
well, I mean, it doesn't seem like it because if any imperfections be more obvious with the
the matte colors are, you know, the arts and crafts colors are. They just did wonderful glazes and colors and designs, which is mostly Albert Solon, and you know, like just great things.
Well, so about how many? Well, this is a small, but how many would you say? So do you have more than 500?
I probably have about 500.
Okay, so you have about 500, and you may get more. You have access to another 500?
Possibly, yes.
Okay, so you may have access to what you have and what you could get, maybe 1,000 of these titles. If someone called you up and say, I cannot live without the finest tiles ever made.
These are like stair risers, and I have probably...
They're like what?
Stair risers.
Stair risers. Okay.
And there's I have about 6 or 7 different designs, and all these have never been set, never used, signed on the back. You know, all these tiles, and probably about 300 of these.
Well,
in addition to all this.
So these are.
Over here, look at this. This is an example of what they look like in an installation.
Oh, so this is what an S&S tile looks like when it's in action.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
so
these.
How
beautiful, rich.
Now, how did this come about?
This I got separately. This was
no,
not from
you
that
bought
collection.
this, or you took the stuff and had this made.
I bought. No,
so you
this
just bought it as
paper.
is. So this thing goes back to the early 20s.
Yes.
Okay. How much do you want for this?
3,500.
3,500.
Really reasonable.
Okay. And why don't you show me a couple pieces here? Let's say like this mermaid-esque or whatever it is.
Inexpensive. This guy here.
Well, I didn't think they were. So how much is
$1,000 for that?
Okay. So this 2-piece set is $1,000. How about this one?
Those big medallions are $1,000 too. And you can't find these anywhere.
Wait. Why is this and this roughly the same price? This is so much smaller.
This is geometric, and this is a fish. and most of the scenics like are very, very hard to find of his.
I see.
So the fish or any animals, those go higher.
I see.
Or scenics like even a flower pot like this. This is not cheap. This is $800 just for the flower pot. And you can't find these things anywhere.
So of these, which is the top one here?
On this table?
Yeah, on this table.
I would have to say probably the fish.
The fish. You know, that was the one.
Yeah.
I'm not saying this just because we're on. That was the one I gravitated to.
It is.
That was my favorite one.
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm going to get a good